Hello,
I'm Ben.
and I'm Seki, and this is Literally Speaking. Now, in our previous episode of Your Move, we talked about how we can use the facial expression as well as the eye contact to make your audience connect with you better.
We also touched on how hand gestures can further enhance your message.
Today, in Your Move Part 2, we're going to be delving into body language again, but this time round, we're going to be focusing on two other aspects. Number one will be the posture and how it can make a difference when you're on the stage.
We'll also be moving from the hands all the way to the arms so that you can effectively use them when you're delivering your speech on stage. So for this video, we'll be taking you outside as we demonstrate how do we apply the techniques for posture as well as the arms for you to take your public speaking to another level.
We'll see you outside. Just as how facial expression preempts your audience on the intended message, your posture is the extension of your emotions. We start off first with the ready stance. Place your feet parallel to your shoulders. Notice how balanced you feel when you stand in this position. This helps you avoid placing your weight onto either sides of your hips. Shoulders should be pushed slightly back to avoid slouching. Speaking of slouching, it is not to say that the posture is bad. It is used to show different messages. Oftentimes, a slouch can be used when denoting a feeling of dejection. A slouch is used to portray an emotion where most likely the speaker is appealing to a sense of pity, a state of despair, or even disappointment. Next up, a tensed posture. This is when the speaker tenses his or her muscles. A tense position can be fun to experiment around. It is heavily reliant on the facial expression that is shown. Put a smiling face and you will get a feeling of excitement. Widen your eyes and open your mouth and you get shocked or even surprised. Clench your teeth and you will show an emotion of being scared. Play around with different facial expressions to get different effects. Finally, we will talk about the crouch or the hunch. The hunch is used for different emotions as well, but oftentimes it is used to portray a sinister feeling. It can be used to give a sense of being overwhelmed. It can be used to portray cynical agenda, and it can be used to portray mysteriousness or if someone is trying to stay hidden. Use these postures to your advantage and add life into your speech.
Ever heard of the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words? You can illustrate many different points through your arms. If you're speaking on a huge stage in front of many people, your arm movement will be a lot wider. Likewise, if you're speaking in a small room with a few people, you don't want to extend your arms too much. That's because you don't want to overpower your small audience with large gestures. When you're talking about yourself as a subject, for example, it's very awkward to do this. If you're addressing something that's personal to you, keep your arms close, or you can even move it to the chest. Likewise, if you're addressing the audience, you want to stretch your arms towards them. If you want to stress on a point, you can do a small karate chop. When you move on stage, you can even keep your arm in this position for your audience to retain the information you've just shared a tad bit longer. Your arms are also used to prompt, instruct, and get response from the audience. If you start clapping on stage when you're singing, the audience will naturally clap their hands to follow you, even if you never ask them to. Similarly, you can lean towards your audience and fully extend your arms to get them to repeat your message. Only do this if you're certain the audience knows what to respond with. A more common application of this technique is when you want the audience to raise their hands. For example, if you were to ask the audience, how many of you drive to work every day? Your audience will naturally raise their hands if they drive to work, even though you never explicitly mentioned raise your hands. We hope that these arm movements will come in handy to you.
And with that, we come to the end of Your Move Part 2.
But wait, what about our legs?
Right, our legs are so important, especially when we're on the stage. But I think we'll leave that for another episode of Your Move Part 3.
We hope that this 3-part Your Move series will end as a trilogy. I pray that there's no 4th part to it. But in any case, stay tuned to an upcoming video from us that will feature primarily our pretty legs. But in the meantime, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
We hope that you've learned something about posture as well as the usage of your hands and arms to its full extent. Until then,
Keep learning
keep enjoying,
and keep watching.
literally speaking.